Almost. But today we're gonna cover Rio, right? We're gonna specifically cover it within the boundaries of where you guys would go. So we ain't talking about the favelas. We're not talking about, out in the middle of nowhere. We're talking about the typical vacationer who will fly in for 2 weeks, a week, a month, whatever it might be. Or the guy who might say, you know what, maybe after I fly in, check it out, would that be a place I want to consider for retirement or to work digitally online, that kind of thing. So we're going to answer a few questions that I had in the comments, but most specifically, I'm going to give you guys information that I feel a lot of people skipped over that'll be important to you. Because what I feel is happening is, of course, people want to sell you that dream, so they're only talking about one side of the coin. But, if you guys have been following me for a while, I give you the raw, right? I give you it in the reality of what life is, right? In every place you go, whether that was in Dominican Republic, Colombia, places that fellas from the United States like to travel mostly. The truth is, every country you go to will have its negatives and it's gonna have its positives. And then if you narrow that down to areas also, you're gonna have negatives and you're gonna have its positives. We don't all want the same thing out of life. So there is no this over that. My approach is just to say, hey, here's my real life observations. I've seen this, and this also comes with it. I've done that when I was in the Dominican Republic. I've done it in Santo Domingo. If you guys go check those videos out. I've done it in Colombia and Medellin. I also did some videos in Cali because I stayed out in Cali for 4 months. And outside of before I used to do these videos for you guys, I've been to several countries around the world and in the Caribbean. And, when I return to those, hopefully you guys will still be on this journey, showing you guys my travels on YouTube. And I'll break it down just the same. But right now, let's get back to Rio, all right? So, some of what I'm going to say is going to be controversial. Some might not be, depends on who you are. So remember, guys, as you watch this, everything is not for everyone, and everybody is not the same. All right, so first things first, let's cover the positives, right? The sell you the dream versions. Clearly from the beach right here, you can see that there's lots of beautiful people. And a lot of those beautiful people have a vibrant culture. There's always activities during the day. There's always the party spots at night, like the Lapa area. You could see every and anything, all right? So, you obviously got beautiful sand beaches. You got Carnival, which is one of the largest in the world, the largest carnival. You've got mountains here. You've got lakes here. You've got paragliding. You've got zip lining. You've got hiking. Yeah, people, all of that actually is in Rio de Janeiro also. Now, some of that content, obviously, you guys would not just go watch it, or not a large amount of you. So people show you what you want to see, right? But just know on the positive side, you got all the activities that you can ever dream of in Rio. I would say that if you want your money to stretch, because the exchange rate, kind of varies, but it's about $5 to 1. And you were considering a lifestyle of Miami. You were like, hey, I want to live in Miami. I would say, I would call Rio the Miami of South America. You may as well just move to Rio instead of Miami, because your budget, what you will be able to do with your lifestyle, will stretch by 5 times more. You'll get all the same things except the culture of the fancy Miami cars. That's about it. All right, now depending on who you are, this is really person dependent. Let's talk about the fluidity of the rainbow from one side to the other and everything in between that all the people I've seen cover Brazil somehow never brought it up. Listen, just like South Beach, it exists here a lot. And let's say New York in the Village, for those who know back in the day, I don't know if it's still the same. It used to be like, how should I put it? Maybe it's best to let you see how it went down, and that helps put it in perspective.
Yeah, I think I wandered into the special part of Ipanema Beach. And I didn't realize it. But now I know. Now I'm aware of where I am. You guys see there's a lot of couples here. So, it's very clear where I am right now. So I'm gonna exit stage left real quick. And by stage left, I really do mean left, like I'm walking against the sun. So let me clear out real quick. Looking like South Beach, Miami over on this side. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Ipanema Beach. Packed like sardines, man.
Like this here. Now the difference was you were able to say, okay, that's over there, and if I go over there, that's what it's about. I'm over here, and I'm okay over here if you're the kind of guy, let's say you're a male that's into the opposite, and if you're a female that's into the opposite, right? A lot of people say America has freedom. My observation is, especially in these more touristy areas, Rio is extremely liberal when it comes to the fluidity of the attractions, right? Attractiveness to each other. Let's put it down.
Back to regular.
I would say if you're a single person, right, and you come to these areas and you're in a restaurant, a bar, a club, many times you don't know what's what, who's with who, and what your options might or might not be. You might see two girls and, oh, it's her and her homegirl, and you're like, oh, cool, but then later on you realize there's much more than that. You could go into a bar or a nightclub, and it's very friendly to everybody, so everybody's in there, and Brazilians do, it is true, love kissing. So now you gotta watch any and everybody kiss on any and everything, and yeah, it's extremely liberal in these parts of Rio de Janeiro, and I think a lot of people just skipped over that. Instead we're talking about cold approaching, not cold approaching, whether or not there's English. There's a lot of English here, people. And then but you're in another person's country. If you're going to stay long term, learn their language. That's how I feel about it, right? Oh, that couple that just passed reminded me about the other thing that's always coming up, this race thing, man. Listen, when I was in Dominican Republic, you guys posting the same thing. In this part of Brazil, Rio, you guys posting the same thing. Listen, in the areas that we're going to go, and I got a feeling this is Americans posting this, and probably Canadians and French people, the most racist nations pretty much out there, right? So race is always on your mind. Listen, a guy is pointing out racism, right, while pointing out to me how many brown people are black or are not really black, that, some complicated thing about Brazilians. And I'm like, bro, your statement itself is contradictory. Those people can't be brown if they didn't like each other, right? Because they want to be mixed, plain and simple. And you ain't going to the areas just if you live in the United States. You're not going to the racist areas if you're a black man or a black woman. You know to stay the hell away from those places, right? So if you come to Brazil, what the hell you care? Because you ain't gonna go to those places, they're racist anyway, either way. And then I had some guy who had the nerve to literally spend the time posting a long comment telling other black people, other black men and women, do not come to Brazil to vacation and spend your money because they don't like black people. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of black people here in Brazil. Why would you boycott a country if you say that the people there are underserved by the colonial system that was, put in place, and the inequities still exist. What you do instead is you come to that place and you help patron the businesses of people that are underserved, whether it was the native Amerindians who were originally here or the black people who were brought as slaves. You don't tell people don't go to countries like this while you're living in a country like America and Canada and all these racist places that still got a lot of the systems that if you shop for anything anywhere, you're supporting the same regime and system. Makes no sense. Completely nonsense to me. And I wonder sometimes, like, guys, are you thinking straight? Like, look how many black and brown people are on this beach. You go there and you support those people's businesses. Okay, now let's talk about development. Let's talk about infrastructure. Let's talk about lifestyle. Now, fellas, there's a bunch of you guys who normally send messages that say stuff like, oh, that's a third world country. Now listen to me. Every country outside of the United States, Canada, and elephants in the room, right? Because I'm starting to feel like, there's a few things, a few Western Europe nations got really, really rich people, and then they got poor people. America, and maybe Canada, I could say, and a few European countries are the only ones in the world that have this interesting exception where they have a middle class. And even in America right now, you're losing the middle class, right? However, the question should be, would most of you leave the comfort of the type of country that you're in, right, and come to a part of another country and live the normal lifestyle? Most of you are not going to do that, especially not with the currency exchange rate. You're going to live in the great areas, the touristy areas, the nice communities. So why do you care? And by the way, I mentioned that first, but I will tell you this. Brazil is not, I repeat, not. You can Google it. It's not a third world country. This is a developing nation. It's one of the biggest economies in the world. Look it up. All right. So, and infrastructure-wise, it has every single thing in the areas that you would live. The lights are reliable. It don't go out. The water comes straight into your house. So does the gas. The electricity is good. The train systems are nice. Go back in a few of my videos. You guys will see that. I mean, you have pretty much every single thing you would have in New York and Miami and probably some parts of California, but cleaner and nicer. I'll just be honest with you. Cleaner, nicer, and more technologically advanced. That's the truth there. I've lived in 25 years in America, right? I would say about half of that time was in New York, the other half would be in Florida, all right? And I could tell you, there's a lot of things that are a lot more advanced here than in America right now, especially their ability to move around with the metro, the buses, the cleanliness of it. America is falling behind these countries, man. The electronic payment systems here are incredible, all right? And lifestyle-wise, clearly you see that there's a set of the population here that are really into fitness and health. So there's no doubt about that. So ask yourself, if this was an extremely poor nation, how would the people afford to do what they're doing? It's because they live a certain way, all right? All right, so with that information, the question you have to answer only for yourself is, will she be your next or will she burn you out? And I'm talking about real, all right? Please, guys, real. That's it right now. That's my breakdown. It wasn't about the entire country. Don't leave me those messages talking about, that's not the whole of Brazil. This was for real. And this is specifically talking about areas that we would go and live or vacation as foreigners, right? Because you're not going into any favelas, no matter to you. And unless you're some crazy white dude who love doing poverty pimping, going into the worst areas of Africa and worst favelas just to show you guys videos, the typical person is not going to do that. Enjoy the views. I got more coming for you guys. Go to payhip.com/richesmethod. Download Traveler's Cheat Sheet. That's a guide to dating, safety, and travel. And if you'd like to live abroad, I've also got a book for that. That's called The Good Life, How to Live or Slow Travel Abroad. And for y'all who need just a little bit of help on the financial side of how to make this happen, I got the financial cheat sheet. All of them available for instant download at payhip.com/richesmethod. And I'll check you guys on the next one.
Allah